do it all along with listening in your car as part of our music and entertainment plan. Right now, we're offering SiriusXM subscription plans for as low as $6 a month, plus fees and taxes. Call 844-711-8800 to find out more about these amazing offers.
Every NFL game on SiriusXM.
What a play!
It's always a home game when you listen on the SiriusXM app. You'll get your local pre- and post-game shows and hear your hometown announcers call the action.
To the end zone, a walk-off winner!
Get ready for game day with weekly shows from NFL greats Bill Belichick and Phil Simms.
Whoever's coaching those wide receivers, I want to hire him.
And join the daily conversation on NFL Radio, Channel 88. Your home for the NFL is SiriusXM.
Did you know SiriusXM has over 100 extra channels on the SiriusXM app filled with ad-free music made for everything you do? Mashup channels, workout channels, channels for parties, or just chilling out and more. Expertly curated for any mood, occasion, or activity. Extra channels let you discover new music and enjoy even more variety from every decade and music style you love. Plus, you can watch some of your favorite SiriusXM shows with SiriusXM Video. And you can do it all along with listening in your car as part of our music and entertainment plan. Right now, we're offering SiriusXM subscription plans for as low as $6 a month, plus fees and taxes. Call 844-711-8800 to find out more about these amazing offers.
There you go now.
I think I'm recording.
Oh, let's see. Let's see. You gotta get this. You gotta get this. Let's see.
If you've been thinking about buying a home, you need to be in the zone, the home buying zone. You need a game plan to win in this great real estate market. The Big C team at Equity Zone Mortgage has all your bases covered. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, purchasing your dream home, refinancing, consolidating debt, or even considering a reverse mortgage, contact the Big C team at Equity Zone Mortgage today. They have the lowest closing costs and they'll close your loan on time, guaranteed, or they'll pay your first mortgage payment. And they even have a 3.5% purchase down payment grant that can get you into a home with little money out of your pocket. It doesn't get more clutch than that, folks. Score big on the biggest purchase of your life. Call Equity Zone Mortgage today at 1-800-772-8624. That's 1-800-772-8624. Or apply online at equityzonemortgage.com and tell them Big C sent you as heard on the Big C Sports Podcast. Message number 018-14868.
Rondo Deportes, Bonjour, Vidi Vidi Vici. Let's get ready to rumble. Welcome to the show. My name is Charlton of Big C Sports. This is Big C Sports coming to you worldwide on the Big C Sports Network, on the #1 network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the #1 sports show in the universe, according to me and people who love the universe. And that would include you. Nam yo rinke yo, nam yo rinke yo, nam yo rinke yo. I want to say a beautiful happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. I wish me many more. May lightning strike. I want to say what a beautiful day in Denver Hills, California. Today's show is sponsored by your Northern California Cadillac dealers. Home of the all-new Cadillac Escalade, the standard of the world. When you go by and test drive yours, tell them sit you where the good Lord split you. And hopefully the good Lord didn't split you too wide. But if your split's not wide enough, keep eating those fast food burgers, and they're guaranteed to give you a wide split on a beautiful Thursday, September the 5th, in 2024, in Dimdale Hills, California. I do want to say I do appreciate God for all the great life that God has given me. And then God told me that he's going to give me the Mega Millions for my birthday, but I have to wait another day. I said, another day? I'll wait another day. And then I can buy a full tank of gas in Denver Hills, California. I'm so grateful for a beautiful day. I got some great gifts for my birthday today. I got some really great gifts from a really special person, and I really wish you the very best of everything that God has to offer. I love you with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. I do want to say, for everybody that gives me, I got this great, it's like a cologne, but it's a lotion, and I got it today as a gift. It's called Vibes Up. It's Rare Lotus. It's green with a beautiful brown top, and it smells so good. I was putting it in my nose, In your nose, Big C? Yeah, in my nose. And it makes my nose smell good. All spirit level word, really do appreciate that. I just had a great birthday breakfast with my brother. And I had some type of sandwich with meat on it. And then he got me some coffee also. And then I just sat down and had a beautiful birthday lunch. And I really do appreciate all the love that I've received on my birthday. And it makes me feel special. And to hear from my siblings. And also, I just appreciate very much how life is. My son actually wished me happy birthday. Thank you very much, Malcolm. Hopefully I hear from Daisy also. I just want to say thank you, guys. God is a great, and I really do appreciate that. Also, a special shout out to my business partner. Keep fighting, keep pulling us through. You're going to be fine. A lot of people have been praying for you. I'm not giving out your name because you didn't ask me to, and I haven't been able to get that information. But I just want to say God is good. Keep your spirits up, and life is going to be great. And I appreciate your children for reaching out to me, letting me know how you're doing. All's fair in living where God is good. I do want to say what I love about doing the Big C Sports Podcast. We got kickoff on Thursday Night Football. We have the defending NFL champion, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the AFC Championship game runner-up, the Baltimore Ravens. They have a second chance to see if they can knock off touchdown Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. And they're not playing in the United States. They're playing outside of the country. But I'll get into that later. And I do want to say the NFL's been playing all over the world. They've been playing in London. They've been playing in Canada. They played in Mexico. And now they're in a different country. Again, they haven't played a game in Africa yet, where about 70% of the ancestry for these players come from. You would think they'd play a game in Africa. They play a lot of soccer in Africa. It'd be great to see an NFL football game being played in Northern Africa. They can do it if they want to pay homage to the ancestry of where 70% of the players come from. That's my story, and I've taken with it. I'm so grateful on my birthday, and I got some wonderful things to say about people that have reached out and shown me a lot of love. Sometimes you think you're all alone in this world, and then somebody says, I love you, and I appreciate you, and I appreciate that. And I really do appreciate celebrating my birthday with me. It means the world to me. I want to say with the Big C Sports Podcast, I always produce the show. I direct the topics. I broadcast all the shows. I do all the sound effects based on the platform provided by the agency. We should all have more laughter and birthdays in our lives. The commercials are done. The stats are provided. I do the storytelling. I even do the play-by-play Curry for 3. Yes! Get the hole in your life. Do you believe in miracles? Yes, I believe in miracles. Every day that God wakes us up, there's a miracle. You know, there's another miracle. I've been taking a speed reading class because I'm trying to learn to read faster and talk faster. And I realized when I opened my gift right before lunch, right before we had lunch, I couldn't really see what's on the birthday cards. But thank you for reading what's on the birthday cards. I really do appreciate you. It's like there's nothing that tastes better than lemon meringue pie. Lemon meringue pie is the best tasting pie in the history of the universe. You gotta have some lemon meringue pie because only God can make lemon meringue pie taste the way it tastes, if that makes sense to you. I do want to say I love uploading the show. It goes out to 29 podcast applications out of New York City and streaming on 4 TV platforms: Xfinity, Comcast TV, Apple TV, Roku TV, and Amazon Fire TV. And then, you know, I never missed a show since doing Big C Sports back in the day with the crew at Salem Media. I never missed a show. And now we have people who miss practice. I'm not talking about the game. I'm talking about practice. I really do appreciate not missing a show with Big C Sports Podcast through joy, pain, sunshine, and rain. And what I also won't miss is paying homage to the Veterans Crisis Hotline, because they know a mind is a terrible thing to waste, and they really are experienced helping veterans and their loved ones get help. If you know anybody going through issues, there's a Veterans Crisis Hotline number for them to call. It's called 800-273-8255. It kind of sounds like a football play. 800-273-8255. That's 800-273-8255. Or you can text 838-255. That's 838-255. 255. If you're online, simply go to veteranscrisisline.net. That's veteranscrisisline.net. And when you do, you want to give it some praise because we all need somebody to lean on. And it's so good when somebody's leaning back. It's always good when somebody's leaning back, especially when it tastes like lemon meringue pie. So Big C, what did you have? What did you have for your birthday? Well, as I told you, today I had a sandwich. It was a beef sandwich. It had some meat on it and some cheese and an egg. And then, of course, coffee. And for lunch, I had some chicken wings. They look like they were from pterodactyl chickens. Is a pterodactyl chicken? They're so big. They were so big. They look like pterodactyl chickens. It's some chicken and waffles. With some of that, I think it's called jelly butter. It's really, really good. And, of course, the world-famous collard greens. Man, that is strike if you don't have collard greens for your birthday. What a great way to begin some birthdays. Even had a little bit of sweet potato. I really do appreciate that. But I really do appreciate just having someone say, I appreciate you and that I love you on your birthday. That means the world to me. And the Vibes Up Rare Lotus, that is a great scent. And so I really appreciate that very much. Thank you so much. Love you with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. And then I want to say, when it comes to life, before I get into Big C Sports Podcast, I want to say it's a heartfelt show today. And I just want to say there's times when people have issues in life and they don't reach out and say hi. On my birthday, I've been having some people that I love dearly that don't even say hi. Don't even say hi, how you doing? And then yesterday, I was in the hospital with a friend, just checking on him, and there were his children all around him. And he's gonna pull through. And then you have some people who don't even say hi. And life is too short for shenanigans. It's too short for shenanigans. And God knows that. So for anybody that has a chance to say hi to someone that you love while they're alive, pick up the phone and say, I love you. It's an easy thing to do. Unless you've been influenced by something that's crooked. There's nowhere in the Bible where God says, do not honor those that you love. Saying hi is easy. Stevie Wonder had a song that said, I just called to say I love you. And there's sometimes people can have their minds so influenced by deceit and that devil presence. You know, the devil that comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And there are people who will destroy everything about you. Behind your back, but not in front of your face. And life's going to end for everybody. How dare you let the enemy come in and divide people from family members? But the devil's real. He comes but to kill, to steal, and destroy. May that strike. And I had a friend who, not going to mention his name, but he lost 2 people passed away this week. They're gone. And then you have people that are alive and won't even reach out and say, I love you, how you doing? Because the devil's alive too. And the devil wants people not to talk to each other. The devil wants people to ignore each other. The devil's celebrating in hell when people don't reach out and say, I love you to a parent. Can you believe that? Are you out of your fucking mind? There are people that won't even say, I love you. Because the devil's presence is real. The devil can't wait until people are destroyed, and they destroy their own flesh and blood by not even seeing if you're still breathing. But they'll spend a lot of time around people that encourage that crap. Don't you dare pay homage to your loved ones. They celebrate watching you destroy your family. And most of them are Caucasian. That's just a fact. They love when they can destroy a black family. May not strike! devil's rejoicing. The devil loves that crap. And then one day you look up and people are gone. And those devils are sitting around celebrating because they know they're going to hell. They know it! They know they're going to hell. That's why they try to create hell on earth. They love trying to destroy black families. And I'm going to let you hear something too. Because I love football, I love sports too. But I keep it real on Big C Sports Podcast. I'm going to let you hear about what's happening with reparations. You can hear with your own eyes and ears. You don't have to listen to Big C's thoughts. But I want you to hear. So if you're a son or a daughter or a mother or a father, and you don't reach out to people who are alive and say, I love you, and I'm sorry, and can we talk, that lets you know the devil's trying to recruit you. Oh, there you go again, Big C. You know the devil's trying to recruit you if you won't even pick up the phone and say hi to somebody you love. Because the devil had somebody say something negative about that person. Not in front of their face, but behind their back! The devil's celebrating too. The devil gives out birthday cakes. It's called destruction. The devil gives out birthday cakes, Big C? Yeah, it's called destruction. The devil takes the tongue of those that the devil's recruiting and says, do not reach out to people you love and tell them you love them. Don't do it! That's what the devil says. Oh, I don't believe that. If you're not reaching out to people that you love and should love and just say, hi, I love you, or happy birthday, that means the devil's got on your tongue. Because you can't tell me in the Bible where God says, do not honor those that you love. And for anyone that tells you don't love and honor the people you love, the devil's talking to them too. Fire and brimstone. They can't wait to go to hell! So they want to experience hell on earth with those they're supposed to love and be kind to. So they create menagerie, shenanigans, upheaval. No day is promised. No day. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7. No day is promised. And the devil's such a good recruiter, the devil will take people who should have the decency to say, I love you. How you doing? And they say nothing. The devil's a good recruiter. The devil's always at work. The devil will have you sit around people that would tell you don't pay homage and respect to those that you should love. That's what the devil does. The enemy comes but to kill, steal, and destroy. Think about that when you're asking God for favor. And that's to everybody listening. I just left the hospital yesterday with a friend, praying for him. He's going to be okay. Surrounded by his family. And then you have people not even in the hospital won't even talk. Because the devil's a great recruiter. The devil will send somebody who's wicked into your lifestyle, and they'll try to watch you burn down your own family, destroying them with your tongue. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. And then people love to watch you destroy your family while you sit up and celebrate them and their sorry butts. And God knows who I'm talking to. I want you to hear something with your own eyes and ears. As I talk about reparations, I want you to hear what happened at the state capitol just over the weekend. And Big C Sports was there for about 13 hours and didn't leave until about 12:30 midnight. But I want you to hear what happened on the floor to obstruct reparations.
This is Assemblyman Mr. Bryan. He's mad I brought up the reparations vote. So he's preventing me from speaking. and he's trying to block my access to it. Why are you so upset?
You vote for 3 strikes, you put black folks in prisons, but
here
now
for
you want to be a reparations. But you won't vote for the bill.
We should.
I supported the bill all session.
Then bring the bill.
Will you vote for the bill, Mr.
Bring the
Senator?
bill.
Will you vote for the bill?
Bring it up.
Will you vote for reparations?
Bring it
I
up.
would love it.
Bring it up.
Let's vote for reparations
Bring
together.
It up. Bring it up.
You in, Bill?
Bring it up.
I didn't think so.
Bring it up. I'll vote for it.
Sir Major ATL on Twitter says, caught on tape blocking reparations. Disgraced Assemblyman Isaac Bryan was captured on cell phone footage willfully, intentionally, and deliberately obstructing Assemblyman Bill Asalee from approaching the Speaker of the House to introduce the reparation bills SB 1403 and SN 1331. By the way, you can click on these hashtags on Twitter. In a troubling move, the California House Speaker turned off the Assembly in-house cameras, preventing the public from seeing what was happening on the floor. When Bryan realized he was being filmed on cell phone camera, he became aggressive, confronting Asalee and accusing him of not supporting reparations. However, it was Assemblyman Asalee who had called for the reparations bills to be brought to the floor after the California Legislative Black Caucus refused to support them for a vote. The Democratic Party of California and the California Legislative Black Caucus blocked these bills from being signed. As here is Assembly Member Akilah Weber walking by the reparations advocates who continue to urge members of the Assembly to bring up SB 1331 and SB 1403. So, you know, in this American democracy, you're supposed to be electing certain people, you know, from the top down to lobby, and not even just lobby, but to implement things that the community wants, right, chat? That's why they're there in the first place. Most of these people are elected by the people. We the people, right, chat? If you understand, put a 1 in the chat. I want to be clear about what happened last night in the California legislature and my views on the issue of reparations. For years, the Democratic Party has been promising to pay direct cash reparations to Americans who have been harmed by slavery. They convinced voters that they were serious about this proposal and that they would enact legislation to make it happen. So chat, this is Bill Asalee, who is representing California's 63rd Assembly District. Former local and federal prosecutor fighting to restore common sense in Sacramento. So chat, the discussion around reparations isn't just random people on YouTube, right? It's not just Champ Side on YouTube, right, chat? He said it. The Democratic Party has been promising this to Americans, right? And they convinced voters that they were serious. When the time came to pass the bills, they went into hiding and refused to bring the bills to the floor for a vote. Chat, you have to understand how people that look like you are used against you. That's how this goes. That's why it doesn't matter if it's the darkest nigga. It matters what they doing. It matters what you doing. It matters how you moving. They been figured that out. Well, put a blackface in it. Put a blackface on it. So, like he said, I listen, I don't even need to read this to know this is exactly how it gonna go. These people are going to lie to their constituents and the people that will elect them. Then when they get elected, They're going to talk a good game until that bill come up. And when it's time to make an action, that's when they true colors will show. That's how they keep things from getting done. What do they call it? A buffer class, quote unquote. Yeah, there's black people that believe they're better than you. You didn't know that? If you understand, put a 1 in the chat. They believe they're better than you. They get a couple trinkets. They get some more dollars. You know, they get a few gadgets and gadgets and some promises and, you know. But at the end of the day, they're literally against you. Like, no, like for real. Like you are the person that you're the number one person. It's like if you was about to have a breakthrough. You was just about to have a breakthrough and somebody said, wait, hold on, not there, over there. And you are constantly redirect. That's what they are. Or what do they call them? Back in them, they kind of like an overseer almost. You know, the Steven of Django, right, chat? Tell him about the color line, boss. That, you know, that, you know. So I mean, this doesn't shock me at all. When it was time to pass the bill, they went into hiding and refused to bring the bill. Think about it. What if nobody voted in favor of it? See, if you refuse to bring it to the floor, then you don't even have to worry about it being, you know, you probably feel like, oh, we can suppress this. It won't make news. Well, here we are. This is why Champ Side is Champ Side. This is not no boxing channel. Boxing channel can't take it here. Boxing channel need to keep talking about boxing. I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about. Now, all of y'all that been trying to coerce people and all this, Democrat this, Democrat that, where y'all at now? Where are the California Democrats? Collard greens for descendants of slaves, $150K if you run across the border right now, sneak into this country. $150K. The Venezuelan gangs, they taking over in Colorado. They in Chicago. They dumping them in cities. If it don't make the floor, it's not even a possibility. Exactly. So let's keep going. It says there were hundreds of activists in the Capitol being visibly ignored by the Democrats in Sacramento. They weren't even allowed to enter the public gallery to watch the proceedings. I've never seen that happen. Where y'all at? Can y'all find y'all nuts or y'all tongue today or no? Or y'all waiting on the serving of Kamala's collards? In my opinion, I'm going to cut into some of y'all. I'm going to cut into some of y'all bubble, you know? Right? So this is national news, right? This is September 1st. Black activists issue warning for Kamala Harris after California legislature kills 2 reparation bills. Right, chat? So let me say this first. We're past people just talking on the internet about reparations as an idea, right, chat? This is very real. If you understand, put a 1 in the chat. This is very real, right? I have not read either of these bills in detail, right? But this is what I'm saying. Us talking about this helps it build momentum. That's why I told y'all, whatever you want, you have to fight for it, right? So now if more of us knew about this, then maybe we would have been there. You see what I'm saying? And so, you know, everybody wants instant gratification. I say this now, it happens tomorrow. No, you don't know. We don't know when it may happen, right? We don't know when it could happen. But if enough people wake up and realize that America was built on hundreds of years of free labor, deemed constitutional at one point. You know. The people they said was 3/5 human and wrote it into law. The sugar, the cotton, all of it helped put America as one of the greatest powers in the world. And then those same black people in this country fought in the American Revolution. Chat, who was the first person killed in the American Revolution? Pop quiz. First man killed in the American Revolution.
Christmas addicts.
You know, no taxation without representation. I mean, we learned this early in school, right, chat? America didn't like being bullied. America, you know, they didn't want to be bullied. They didn't want to be taxed and mishandled and misabused. So what did they do? They try to form the United States. You had the Confederacy versus the Union. Crispus Attucks was the first man to be killed in the American Revolution. He was black. If you didn't know who Crispus Attucks was, then you missed, we do have a troubling school system here in America, no cap. Right? But Crispus Attucks was the first man to die for this country in war, quote unquote. So black people have fought in the American Revolution, and they have fought in the Civil War. They have fought in Vietnam. Let me not even skip. They have fought in, and I'm saying they because I didn't fight, right? But black people have fought in World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Desert Storm, the war in Afghanistan. There is no war that has been conducted. I mean, black people was fighting in wars before the damn American Revolution, right, chat? The Seminoles and all. Come on, man. So don't be an idiot and get fixated on Trump and Kamala. If you understand, type understand. Let's say we fast forward 10 years and neither one of them can be president, you dumb person on this live. Stop talking to me about Trump this and no, let's talk about getting on code. Fools, because when your kids is of age, guess what? There'll be no Trump or Kamala. But you know what they'll be able to say? I am the descendant of freed men and women, you fuck. Stop talking to me about stupid. Listen, you think civil rights happen overnight? You think freedom happened overnight? Think people wasn't fighting to be free? Champs, how you got this in your chat? You got that in? Talk about what's happening in front of you. Illegal immigrants get $150K to buy homes, but they ain't got no money. This is not about giving black people money. This is old. Get that word through your head. Old. It's old. Anywhere else in America, you go to a job, you clock in. You clock in at 9, you get paid by the hour. You clock out, they done captured how much they gotta pay you. 8 hours of work times your wage. You get paid. Now imagine you was working for free for hundreds of years. Not only you, but your mama and your daddy and your brother and your sister and your sons and daughters. So we ain't talking about we ain't talking about no handouts. This ain't a loan. That's what makes it reparations.
And just as you think about reparations, I was there, Big C Sports was there at the state capitol. And for those of you who say, oh, we don't believe in no reparations, as Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell said, I want you to Google the JUST Act, the JUST Act. The Holocaust was one of the most horrific atrocities in world history. The Nazi regime murdered 6 million Jews, including 1.5 million children, and millions of other individuals motivated by its twisted ideology and ethnic hatred. The Holocaust was also one of the largest organized thefts in human history. The Nazi regime confiscated, seizure, and wrongful transfer of the Jewish people's property were designed not only to enrich the Nazi regime at the expense of European Jewry, but also to permanently eliminate all aspects of Jewish cultural life. As World War II ended in Europe, the United States of America, it led the effort to seek a measure of justice in the form of restitution or compensation for individuals whose assets were stolen during the Holocaust. The efforts began while Allied troops were liberating Europe and continue to this day. In 2009, the United States and 46 other countries committed to rectify the consequences of these wrongful asset seizures and to promote the welfare of Holocaust survivors around the world by endorsing the Terrorism Declaration. United States Congress adopting with broad bipartisan support Justice for Uncompensated Survivors Today Act called the JUST Act. Now you just heard what happened with the effort for reparations to be even voted on at the state capitol in California just over the weekend. Big C Sports was there. Senate Bill 1050. What's Senate Bill 1050, Big C? Senate Bill 1050 provides restitution and compensation for eligible residents whose property was taken unjustly by certain state actions for descendants of chattel slavery. That passed 56-0, like the JUST Act. Bipartisan. What was not voted on other than Senate Bill 1050 was Senate Bill 1403, creates a state agency to help residents verify eligibility and carry out reparations policies, like the JUST Act. Also not voted on was Senate Bill 1331, creates a state fund to support current and future reparations funding for descendants of chattel slavery, just like the JUST Act, but they blocked it. They would not allow it to be heard. And I played you that segment on Big C Sports Podcast. I thought you were going to talk about the game, Big C. I am talking about the game of life, because you're going to see NFL football tonight. Not even played in this country. In a different country. Beautiful, intelligent black man making millions and billions for owners. Before I get into sports, I want you to hear why we should have reparations from the best speaker in the history of the universe. We're talking about reparations. You can hear it with your own eyes and ears, because reparations will happen because we are a just country. The United Nations and the United States of America, they will make sure that it happens. I want leaders. I want people who want to lead. Listen with your own eyes and ears.
About handouts and how these right-wing memes, these Republican memes, have infiltrated the Democratic debate to suggest that, you know, ending welfare as we know it, you know, all those kind of things are somehow, you know, great and noble things, when we're not dealing with the underlying problem, which is that there's no economic opportunity there because of insane trade policies and because of Reaganomics. And Martin Luther King spoke to this. Jim and Shane, this is clip number 4. Martin Luther King spoke to this sometime back in the early 60s. And I thought this was a really interesting quote. Here he is.
The problem. At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land. in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms. Not only that, today many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And this is what we are faced with. And this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington, in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
From his speech, The Two Nations of Black America, and it's absolutely brilliant. And the next time some white person talks about, well, I pulled myself up by my bootstraps and my family did too, especially the Bundy boys. I mean, here's Martin Luther King, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., talking about how basically whites stole the West from the Indians with the complete, and didn't just steal it. I mean, murdered them he murdered the Indians in the process, and did not give any of these benefits to African Americans for 100 years in this country. It's a strong case for reparations or some variation on it, for rebuilding our cities, for doing right after having done wrong for so many centuries. It is a very, very strong case for that.
So I want you to hear what happened when the United States government decided to help the people, and we give it praise for the Just Act. Hitler was in power from 1931 to 1945. Slavery lasted from 1619 to 1865, and then 100 years of Jim Crow. And then in 2024, we have the waterfall blocking the vote from even being heard to give reparations to descendants of child slavery, just like the Just Act gave reparations to descendants of the Holocaust. What's the difference? That's why there's a reckoning coming in America. Good people are going to start doing the right thing. Reparations will stimulate the economy. The United States government was behind rebuilding Europe. After World War II, Black American soldiers participated in that rebuilding of Europe. Reparations will happen. Reparations deserve to happen for descendants of child slavery too. Well, that's my story, and I'm sticking with Midnight Strike. I love bringing it to you. I really do appreciate what I get to bring with Big C Sports Podcast. I love what I do so much. I'm so grateful to God that I have a chance to have a great birthday today and receive lots of love and gifts from people that love me and tell me that, and I thank you. But I want to do good for all people. We deserve it. We deserve it. I'm asking the NFL, that's dominated by African American men, and the NBA, that's dominated by African American men, to do something for your ancestry. I know you're sitting on $50 million a year, some of you guys, $300 million in the bank, some of you guys. But Jaylen Brown really is the only one for the Boston Celtics that talked about bringing the Black Wall Street to Boston. We're asking for good people of all colors. The people that voted for Senate Bill 1050 at the state capitol, they were black and white, mostly white people. I said they were mostly white, decent people. Not all every white person is crooked. I know they benefit from racism. You heard about that with the Just Act. But there are a lot of decent people that want to do the right thing. And Big C Sports wants to be a part of the vanguard of doing the right thing. It's not that hard to do the right thing. And I'm so grateful that we live in a country where there are lawmakers, even as we are breathing, that want to do the right thing for our economy. That's my story. I'm sticking with it. Midnight Strike! Ready for some NFL football tonight. the 2024 NFL season kicks off. The Super Bowl 58 was in Las Vegas, Nevada. Big C Sports was in Las Vegas for that game. And now Super Bowl 59 is going to New Orleans, Louisiana. So the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens to begin the regular season of 2024 NFL kickoff tonight. On my birthday, the Chiefs and Ravens will be a star-studded affair with a touchdown Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones lining up for the Kansas City Chiefs. As Andy Reid said in a TV commercial, who are the Kansas City chefs? And then for the Baltimore Ravens, they have Superman Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews, and new running back Derek Touchdown Henry that came over from Tennessee. Both teams have impressive and dynamic offenses. In 2023, the Chiefs were at 15th in the league in scoring offense at 21.8 points a game, while Baltimore was 4th. I'm telling you, they had 28.4 points per game. I gotta tell you, this is a great year for NFL football because the consciousness is rising in America. Kickoff at the Fieldhouse and Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, set for 8:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Kansas City. Already underway. In Kansas City, they are a 3-point favorite in the latest Ravens versus Chiefs matchup. And I'm telling you, last year, the Chiefs opened up playing the Lions, and the Chiefs were favored. The Lions beat them. Obviously, the Chiefs have been susceptible early in the year. They played better late in the year. But Baltimore should have won that game last year in Baltimore. I'm going to go with Kansas City unless they lose. The point spread says go with Baltimore because the money's poured on Kansas City. But I'm going to go with a touchdown Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs to beat the Baltimore Ravens tonight. If they score more points, Big C, that's not going out on a limb. I said if they score more points, then they'll win that game. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. Everybody knows football's it's a game of yards. And no matter who you like in this game, it's about doing the right thing. When you think about how good these teams are, they were both in the AFC Championship game last year. But Kansas City has been to 3 Super Bowls in the last 4 years. They beat the 49ers. They lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They missed out on a season when the Rams beat the Cincinnati Bengals, but they were still in the AFC Championship game. And then they beat the Philadelphia Eagles. And then last year they beat the San Francisco 49ers. So I think about these two great teams. Baltimore hasn't been to the Super Bowl since they beat San Francisco back in the day down in New Orleans. So I'm looking at both teams that have a great passing attack, obviously, with touchdown Patrick Mahomes, and also Lamar Jackson, Superman. Superman is good, but I don't think they can overcome Kansas City at home. I don't see Kansas City losing back-to-back home openers. They lost last year to the Detroit Lions. I don't see that happening this year, where they drop it to a team they just beat in the AFC Championship game. I just don't see that. So I'm going to go with a touchdown with Patrick Mahomes. The over-under is 47 points for the Chiefs and the Ravens, and I think it's a game where Kansas City most likely will win, maybe 31-24, somewhere around there. 31-24 is my thinking, and obviously that's about, I think that covers over the point spread. That's going to be a 55, 31-24, somewhere in there. That would be like a 20, if my math like 50, I can't even think right now. 55 points, and the over-under is 47. I think both teams will get at least 24 points. I got the Chiefs winning that by a touchdown. Well, that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. That's what happens when you eat fixins for lunch. If I feel so good, but it also made me a little bit sleepy. But I got a lot of energy. Got a lot of passion today. I'm so grateful to God that God has given me a great life and great people to tell me I love you and happy birthday. I really do appreciate that. May Latin strike! I really do appreciate God's favor. I want to say I don't have enough time to do today's show the way I want to because there's so much. That's why I took a speed reading class so I can talk faster. I want to get in my infomercial. I have a guide to protect, preserve, and transfer wealth, Resource Development Consulting, Inc., in conjunction with the Law Office of Attorney Scott Thibodeau and the Law Office of Attorney George Jones, the Missing Link Long-Term Care. Solutions by the book. Over 3 decades of experience helping seniors get their benefits, Medicare and you, and taking care of tomorrow. In California, it's called Medi-Cal. In other parts of the country, it's called Medicaid. But I'm not done yet. Your family and spouse can avoid the spend down for nursing home costs. You can find out your options by calling 800-772-8624, 800-772-8624. That's 800-772-8624, and tell them Big C sent you our promise to you. Specialized to navigate and maximize long-term care benefits, protection of your assets without the spend down. All paperwork and communication with all government agencies are handled by our staff of entitlement specialists. Ongoing consulting to provide updates as necessary. Benefits covering skilled nursing facilities, prescription medications, medical equipment costs, and more. Protection of your assets, including your home, thereby allowing you to leave a legacy for your family, avoiding the nightmare of debt brought by the government's estate recovery program called probate. If you don't have a will and a trust, you will go to probate at the end of life. And the probate court, they love you, and they have a will for you, and you will not like it. A one-time processing fee versus monthly insurance premiums for the rest of your life. I'm not done yet. I said I'm not done yet. A will and a trust with the RDC team. Protection insurance coverage required by law. General liability, workers' compensation. Lawyers specializing in living trust. Medicaid or Medi-Cal planning for long-term care. Avoid probate life insurance policies. Veterans benefits, aid and attendance. Pre-planning and avoid the look-back period. It protects your fixed assets. What are fixed assets, Big C? I'm glad you asked. Your bank account, your checking account, savings account, money market account, certificates of deposit, life insurance with cash values, your fixed indexed annuities. What about variable assets, Big C? I'm glad you asked about variable assets. Your real estate, qualified money, IRA, 401k, other investments. Avoid capital gains. Let's say you buy a house for $100,000. What can you buy that house, Big C? Well, let me finish the story. And a year later, that house appreciates to $1 million. Well, that's a $900,000 capital gain. You know, illegal aliens are getting $150,000 of down payment money for free. I'll say illegal aliens, illegal immigrants are getting $150,000 of down payment money for free. And they don't have a time to vote for reparations. In the land of the free, the home of the brave. Over 3 decades of experience, attention business owners, find out your other options to protect what your insurance does not cover. 800-772-8624. That's 800-772-8624. And when you reach out to them, you just gotta tell them that Big C sent you. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. And I gotta tell you, we also have some endorsements. It's important when someone says to do business with them. You want to learn, well, who are your endorsements? Who are your endorsements, Big C? I'm glad you asked. We have endorsements. We have endorsements that make a lot of sense. Because my friend does trust. He doesn't have endorsements, but he is my friend. Well, there's nothing wrong with having friends. We have friends, too. I have friends. Yes, we do. I have friends. How about you? I want to tell you, when it comes to getting someone to do your trust and your wills, you want to work with people who have great endorsements. And our endorsements are really powerful, and that's important to tell you. You can Google it for yourself. Our endorsements are the late James Gomez, who advised 4 California governors and led change in California nursing homes. He also served on Golden One's board of directors for 21 years. The CEO of California Association of Health Facilities. But not only that, we have the endorsement of the late Robert Colson, the top legal counsel for CalPERS. He endorsed the RDC team. But not only that, Mr. George Jones, Esquire, chairman of the California Black Chamber of Commerce, also California Black Chamber of Commerce Foundation, also Attorney Scott Thibodeau, one of the top estate planners in Northern California, also Mr. Leon Woods, resource development consultant, bumped into him yesterday, also works with many of the top lobbyists in California. But not only that, Miss Cheryl Brown, she's the chair of the California Commission on Aging. She endorses the RDC team. Not only that, Mr. Ray De La Cruz, the CEO of Resource Development Consultant, been doing this thing over 34 years and counting. But not only that, Mr. Alex De La Cruz, the founder of American Veteran Benefits. But not only that, we have Charles DeCurry, the co-chair of the National Black Wall Street Project, also business development consultant with the RDC team, also owner of Big C Sports Podcast Corporations, the #1 sports show in the universe, talking sports, reparations, and asset protection. No other show talks about protecting your assets the way Big C Sports does. That's my story. I'm sticking with it. But not only that, we have Double O. She's the payout committee for the National Black Wall Street Project. Not only that, has her own economics awareness talk show called Let's Eat. And everybody loves to eat. You can Google it on Access Sacramento. She's also a consultant with the RDC team. You got to give that some praise. I say give it praise, praise, praise. Because a mind is a terrible thing to waste. You got to give that some praise. Well, I love bringing you Big C Sports podcast. I love doing it with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. There are more things happening with the push for reparations. I'm going to do my part to be a part of it. I've actually been seeing my photo bounced around on television networks lately in the buzz surrounding reparations bills on the final day of the California legislative session was over, but what wasn't addressed are direct payments. But not so fast, my friend. As the great late Jackie Gleason said, it's Smokey and the Bandit. He said, you sound a lot taller on the radio. Somebody was trying to obstruct Sheriff Buford T. Justice. We got Sheriff Buford T. Justice who's going to lead the charge for reparations now. Reparations forever. Sheriff Buford T. Justice is going to lead the charge for reparations. So you know it's going to happen. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. I hope you enjoyed Big C Sports Podcast. So yeah, I'm different. I don't want to be like everybody else. I like the Big C Burger. It comes with 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, and collard greens on a sesame seed bun. Melatin strike. Do you believe in miracles? Get in the hole. You know, when I'm hungry, my stomach says, get in my belly now. Get in the hole. Big C Sports is the only sports show in the universe to have meat on the bone. I know they gave some good boys $100 million for 3 years. You learn nothing. You don't learn anything that will benefit this country. Try it. Put any show up against Big C Sports Podcast when it comes to protecting people. It have incredible minds and some of the top leaders in the history of this country that support Big C Sports Podcast. Have the great Camila Moore, California Reparations Task Force, the chair, was just on Big C Sports Podcast this week. That's important. I love giving praise to everybody that's part of doing the right thing. That's important to me. I want to give praise to that because I'm the only sports show that does that. A lot of people just shucking and jiving. I'm asking for a few brave, good men and women, black and white, brown, yellow, red, no matter who you are, to get behind the Just Act for descendants of chattel slavery. I want to give praise to the California Reparations Task Force, Attorney Camila Moore, and thank you for coming on Big C Sports Podcast this week. I love giving you praise. I'm going to give praise to Dr. Amy C. Brown, who also came on the Big C Sports Podcast about 3 months ago. I love giving you praise. I want to give praise to California Senator Stephen Bradford, who I've met many times, and he's like Moses. I really do appreciate your championing of reparations. I love giving you praise. I want to give praise to Council Member Monica Montgomery Stepp. She's brilliant. I love giving her praise. I'm a little bit disappointed with Assembly Member Reginald Jones Sawyer, who was actually shucking and jiving and refused to call the vote for reparations, even though he was on Big C Sports Podcast just 2 weeks ago talking about reparations. You have a lot of explaining to do, Mr. Sawyer, to your ancestry. I want to give praise to Dr. Shell Grills. She's brilliant. I love giving her praise. I want to give praise to attorney Lisa Holder. She's a champion for diversity, equity, and inclusion. I love giving her praise. I want to give praise to attorney Dr. Javon Scott Lewis, professor at California Berkeley. He's brilliant. I love giving him praise. I want to give praise to attorney Donald K. Tamaki, part of the California Reparations Task Force. He's brilliant. I love giving him praise. I love giving him praise, praise, praise. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. I love telling you on every Big C Sports Podcast. Number one, thank you for everyone that told me happy birthday. I love that with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. I appreciate you. And God, I thank you for a happy birthday. I want to say, as I always do on every Big C Sports Podcast, if you're going to drink, don't drive. If you're going to drive, don't drink. Because mothers against drunk drivers are mad. And fathers against drunk drivers are mad. It's one of the easiest things not to do. You can call Uber. You can call Lyft. You can walk it off. You can sleep it off. But don't get behind the wheel of a car and start driving after you've been drinking. The life you save may be your own, or somebody that you love, or somebody that loves you, or somebody that's loved by somebody else. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. My beautiful mother always says there's never ever an excuse for racism or domestic violence. No man, woman, or child should ever go through that crap on their own. If you're going through that crap, you need more LEADER in your life. LEADER is an acronym for Love is the Answer. If somebody's slapping you, I only slapped you because you made me mad. Pick up the phone, call 911. If somebody's kicking you, I only kicked you because you made me mad. Pick up the phone, call 911. If somebody's choking you out, I only choked you because you made me mad. Pick up the phone and call 911. Things change when the police show up. If somebody loves you, they don't hit you, they don't slap you, they don't choke you out. Pick up the phone, call 911. Things change when the police show up. I guarantee it. Things change when the police show up. No man, woman, or child should ever go through that crap. As I always say on every Big C Sports podcast, I love paying homage to my beautiful family legacy. On my mother's side, my great-grandparents, Mama. Oh, I'm having a great birthday today. Mama and Pop, my great-grandparents, always gave lots of love and lots of food in the belly. She just didn't like when we come from outside playing and say, "Great-grandma, I'm hungry now. Where are those ribs?" She said, "Those ribs are still cooking on the stove, son." She said, I said, "I want some ribs now. I don't have to wait for them to finish cooking." She said, "Son, wait for them to finish cooking. They're still hot. You're going to burn your fingers." "I don't care if I burn my fingers. I'm hungry now." She said, "Boy, go wash your hands in this house and don't grab off the stove. You're going to burn your fingers." And I said, "Ouch." I burned my fingers. I should have listened. I love my great-grandmother, all my heart, mind, body, and soul. My great-grandfather, Pop, former military man and former Negro League baseball player. Love them with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. And then my beautiful grandparents, Muddia and Hezekiah, they were seers. They could oftentimes look at a person and tell you a lot about their past, their present, and their future. They still help me to this day, and I thank them all for giving me a happy birthday. They're the reason I'm still here to this day, because they took care of me when I couldn't take care of myself. And then I can always depend on my mama, the most beautiful mama in the history of the universe. Started a Head Start program, a food program, and also coached an all-boys Little League baseball team to the championship of the universe. Always saying rise and shine. The best person I ever met in my life. Mama, it's your birthday too, because you gave birth to me on my birthday. I love you with all my mind, body, and soul. You hear my praise. Just tell God, say yes. I deserve it. I'm worthy. I love you, Mama. Best person I ever met in my life. On my father's side, my grandparents, Albert and Alberta Curry, they were pastors. They had 3 churches. They owned 2 gas stations in Oakland. Also owned 40 acres of land. The Homestead Act gave white Americans and even white Europeans 160 acres of land. That's not fair. We deserve reparations. I was 8 years old walking through the hallway in Oakland about 10 o'clock at night. I felt somebody touch me on my forehead. She said, "What are you doing, young man? Going to get some more cookies?" I said, "What are you doing, Grandma? It's 10 o'clock at night. You normally go to bed at 8:30. She said, "What are you doing, young man? Getting some cookies?" I said, "Cookies are baby crap. What I'm doing, Grandma, I'm going to get my reparations." But a couple of cookies wouldn't hurt. It's been a long wait. She said, "There's something about your voice. I love hearing you speak." And I'm on 29 podcast platforms and also streaming on 4 TV platforms: Xfinity, Comcast TV, Apple TV, Roku TV, and Amazon Fire TV. Love them with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. And then my beautiful father, former United States Air Force fighter pilot, chief mechanic, always making sure that planes can fly high so we can all stay safe at night. Always saying, develop your mind to its highest extent. Dad, I love you with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. I really appreciate everything you've done for me. And then my beautiful brother Todd, with that bombastic voice, sound like thunder and lightning when Todd would speak. A voracious reader, always saying go forward. He said don't look back because you don't have much backside back there. I said I love my backside, Todd. But he said my backside wasn't big enough, and that's why I've been doing more squats to get my backside bigger, if that makes sense to you. Now, we love Malcolm X, but we also love a movie called Pulp Fiction with John Travolta, Ben Rames, Sam Jackson, and Bruce Willis. Before the big fight, Ben Rames said, "Bruce, come and sit your butt down." He said, "I'm going to give you this money, but your butt goes down in the 5th round. Sit up, flip!" And so Bruce Willis said, "Okay, my butt goes down in the 5th round." And he told him, "That stinging sensation you're feeling, well, that's just pride bubbling with you." And he told him what was said at the state capitol when they refused to bring the reparations bills up to vote 1403 and 1331. He said, "Blood pride!" But he didn't know he was on tape. He said, "Pride only hurts. It never helps." He said, "Politics is filled with a lot of unrealistic, muddly bluckers who think their butt gets better with time like fine wine, but it don't. In terms of vinegar, then it do." He said, "Someday you're going to think Uncle Marsalis, you're going to say Uncle Marsalis is right when you're chilling in the Caribbean." Kind of like in politics. But we know Bruce didn't take the dive and he lost his LA privileges. Somebody took the dive at the state capitol and they tried to obstruct the vote for their own ancestry. Amazing they were not in charge of the Just Act. entitled Love You with All My Heart, Mind, Body, and Soul. My beautiful daughter, Daisy, the most beautiful daughter in the history of the universe. College graduate, 2 degrees with honors in 3.5 years from a major university. Daisy, you set up the very first interview for Big C Sports Podcast back in the day at Salem Media. It became the first time in the history of the United States of America that NFL Monday Night Football started broadcasting live on the Wall Street Business Network. They had never done that before. But because of 2 black men in the crew, they started doing their thing with Big C Sports. Daisy, I love you with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. You can be anything you want to be. Always trust God. Always trust God. If anything is good, it comes from God. If anything is not good, it's not of God. Always pray, Isaiah 54:17, that no weapon formed against you will prosper. I always want you to know I love you with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. And then my beautiful handsome son, Malcolm, thank you for the happy birthday wish. The most handsome son in the history of the universe. College graduate, very smart, erudite, good man. Malcolm always trust God. Isaiah 54:17, that no weapon formed against you will prosper. I love you with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. Malcolm, you helped me save trees. I used to always get newspapers and look up stats for Big C Sports Podcast. One day Malcolm said, Dad, why don't you just Google it? And a light bulb went off. I've been Googling ever since. One day Malcolm said, Dad, do you want to see Big C Sports on TV? I said, sure. He said, pick up the remote, aim it at the TV, and say, play Big C Sports. You'll see your show come up. That's before it was even on the air. Now it's streaming on the 4 TV platforms, Xfinity, Comcast TV, Apple TV, Roku TV, and Amazon and Fire TV. And now there's more networks that want to carry Big C Sports Podcast. Show me the money! Show me the money! $100 million! Malcolm, I love you with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. Always trust God. Remember, there's no partiality in Christ. God says, don't let anyone divide you from your family. If anyone's trying to do that, that's not of God. I love you with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. And then Big C, with all that wealth of knowledge over the years, like my great-grandparents coming out of that barn, always saying you gotta believe, you gotta believe, you gotta believe. Say, let's get ready to rumble. I love saying welcome to the show. FB nominated Big C Sports Podcast. I have no scripts. I have no 3-way teleprompters. I have no producer in my ear. All I have is this gland in the brain called the pineal gland. The ancients call it the third eye. They say that's how you talk to God. And that's why I talk so loud, because I want God to hear my praise. God, you hear my praise. Say yes, God. I deserve it. You know what I mean. I love you with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. And you know it. I love saying back in the day, there's a man known by the name of Drew Burdini Brown. He's known as Muhammad Ali's right-hand man. He would always tell Ali, he said, you float like a butterfly and you sting like a bee. Rumble, young man, rumble. He said, with all you got to use, how can you lose? Ali said, I'm so pretty, I can't possibly be beat. Every time I listen to Big C Sports, I want a champion. Reparations at last. Reparations at last. Thank God Almighty. Reparations at last. And then I always pay homage to America's 16th president and Dr. Martin Luther King. What are they saying we deserve? The Just Act for descendants of chattel slavery. The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. Reparations at last. Reparations at last. Thank God Almighty. Reparations at last. Reparations at last. Reparations at last. Thank God Almighty. Reparations at last. Say it louder. Reparations at last. Reparations at last. Thank God Almighty. Reparations at last. I thank you. I appreciate you. And I hope that you have a super, fantastic day. Happy birthday, Big C. Happy birthday.